Yeah, hi. We're really kind of taking control of the stage today. I do apologize. So Ingmar's given a fantastic presentation. He has a background in finance and communications. My background has been mainly journalism in the United Nations. I was the Director of Communications for the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and had the great privilege of being the official spokesperson for the Paris Agreement in 2015. So we may be startup, but the people behind the team are not startups.
No, they're old like you.
But as Ingmar said, it's a review platform. It's in a sense slightly an accountability platform as well, because people are watching. People are looking very closely at what are companies doing, what are cities doing, are you really walking the talk? And it's also a way of people actually caring about you as a company and interested in what you do if you're doing the right thing. And the other side of it, which you touched on, is that we have evolved into becoming something of a digital broadcaster. And you mentioned the last show we had in September, which was the circular economy and the race to zero in the run-up to the climate conference in Glasgow, 10 million viewers. Financing the race to zero, a big show we did in April last year, 5 million viewers, and the year before, several million viewers. So this is growing as well, exponentially, in terms of the interest of people in these topics around the world, wanting to watch We Don't Have Time TV. And it's important because in Glasgow, we were all there for the UN climate conference just, 4 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. We were asked by the Nordic Council of Ministers, so that's a stamp of approval on the We Don't Have Time brand, by the countries of Finland and Sweden and Denmark and their ministers to broadcast their events and what they're doing at the COP out to the world via a hub in Helsinki. We were asked by Business Sweden to broadcast what they were doing from the Swedish government's pavilion in Glasgow. And then we were given 5 hours of our own time to broadcast with many partners. Pardon?
Every day.
Every bloody day, actually. God, it was exhausting. All day working with the Nordic Council and Business Sweden, and then 5 hours of our own show going out from Glasgow. And on that show, we had many of the partners that you have just mentioned in your presentation, who were actually talking about what they're doing in terms of climate action, but also very special guests like Johan Rockström, who today is probably the world's most famous climate scientist from Sweden, but also the head of the Potsdam Institute on Climate Impact. So we attract big hitters. A lot of our partners want to be on the show, and they're very interesting. Why don't we just roll a little bit of the footage from Glasgow?
We have some footage from Glasgow showing what we do.
Yeah.
We believe by rewarding climate solutions and warning all the polluters, we will make it profitable to save our planet and super expensive to destroy it.
We must now zoom in on the quality and the implementation of plans, on measuring and analyzing, on reporting, transparency and accountability.
We want to be better, and that's why we are open for climate dialogue.
We want to know what you think, and so that we can improve.
Let's give climate love to those that have the solutions. And let's send climate warning to those that needs to change.
I invested in We Don't Have Time because I actually agree, we don't have time.
We're trying to reduce CO2 collectively.
If we don't act urgently and quickly, catching up later won't work.
The drive to net zero is the growth story of the 21st century.
We had about $350 billion of direct subsidies and tax expenditures, tax breaks given to fossil fuels.
Have such an enormous mobilization of business, finance, civil society, and science all gathered here.
We have halved our own emissions between 2012 and 2017 and are now at a 70% reduction.
SSAB has decided to be the first steel company in the world to offer fossil-free steel to the market in just a few years.
There's lack of clarity and it just feeds greenwashing and delays meaningful action.
We just have to go quickly. We have the technology. We don't have to develop technology.
We're going to create this huge wealth transfer from energy producers, who represent a tiny minority of people, to energy consumers, who represent all people.
We are in a climate emergency, and we are very far from where we need to be.
get ahead of the curve or you're going to lose.
I was able to attend one demonstration that kicked off at Kelvin Grove all the way to George Square, and we had a lot of activists.
What I feel that I can bring is a young audience that maybe doesn't know what to think about climate change.
What is happening here, negotiating, it's so wrong from our perspective. You don't put a price on your mother.
Now, personally, I don't believe the fossil fuel industry should continue to be allowed to operate the way it's been operating for the last several decades.
We want to bring a voice to all the new solutions, the new ideas, the new entrepreneurs who are out there trying to kind of make a break and create this new climate economy.
They're setting a great example, and there's lots of other big businesses that should follow their example.
I really want to urge everybody just to be thinking more about land use and not just electrifying vehicles to, maintain the environment that got us here today.
They want to ban the word burgers, sausages, and steaks from being used on vegan and vegetarian products.
Tell them what they do so that they will be encouraged to do more. And together with the community or users, we share this to millions of people on social media, so this is getting noticed.
Let's bring in Shweta Chakrabarty tonight, risk and behavioral scientist and president of U.S. operations for We Don't Have Time.
As the name says, we don't have time.
ستوكهولم مؤسس منظمة ليس لدينا الوقت. We don't have time. السيد إنغمار رونسبورغ.
Joining us for more is We Don't Have Time's Nick Nuttall. Nick, welcome to the program.
And Nick, about this counter, speaking of numbers.
This is a clock that shows you how much money has been spent on fossil fuel subsidies since the beginning of the COP.
We have a climate crisis and we're still subsidizing the industry, which is causing the crisis. I mean, it's completely dumb. I'm a finance guy, it makes no sense whatsoever.
$2.5 trillion went into subsidies for fossil fuel. That's a definition of insanity.
Still, this is a positive. It's the first COP decision that actually mentions coal power or fossil fuel subsidies.
We need to communicate climate action. Because if only a few people or a few companies are doing climate action without communicating it to others, we will not solve the climate crisis.
But so we just got a few minutes left, but just to say, I mean, as Ingmar pointed out, this is a review platform, but it's also an accountability platform. It's a platform on which you can join, you can showcase what you're doing. Other people will comment. People will push you hard on this platform, right? They'll point out where they think you're going wrong. This might be even better for your business model going forward. Sustainability is the new business. We know that there's no business on the dead planet. And there's also no jobs on the dead planet. So we really need to do something about this. Time is very short. We need to halve our emissions by 2030 to even have a 50-50 chance of actually hitting this magical net zero target by 2050. It can be done, but it's very, very late. You are part of the solution. Get a science-based target. That's one way of having accountability. Or if you're a small and medium-sized enterprise, join one of our other partners, which is the International Chamber of Commerce and the Exponential Roadmap, who can help you with something called the SME Hub. And then join We Don't Have Time, because this is all about not just showcasing what you're doing, but the world holding you accountable, showing they care what you do, and that you're making a difference in the world.
And we solve the climate crisis together, exactly like we do here, but not just on one conference, but every day on a year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.